Pleasant good morning to you. Pleasant good morning to one and all. Welcome to today's episode, Monday's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Season's greetings to one and all. Season's greetings. Happy holidays to all the students in this classroom. Welcome. Today is Monday, the 16th day of December. 16th day of December 2024. We are just over a week away from Christmas. Welcome, one and all. Welcome. I trust that you had a good weekend. You're looking forward to a productive week, to making all your arrangement for the Christmas holidays. Hope you are doing that. There's some traditions you should not ignore, and that is one of them. Making all your arrangement for Christmas, buying your stuff, fixing up your house, and doing all of these things. So welcome to you all. I hope you had, a pleasant night. My colleague, Mr. Conway, I think he's having some technical difficulties. So at this stage, I'm alone. I'm sure he's going to join us shortly. And it is good to see, notwithstanding the fact that you're just about a week, just over a week away from Christmas, so many students found the time to be here this morning. I must admit that I was pleasantly surprised to see the number of students in the schoolyard. And when we started, when the school door was open, to see so many students piling in to the classroom. I guess you want to be able to benefit from the credible and valuable information that we will bring to you today, and we'll continue to bring to you. We have so much to talk about, I suspect that some will have to roll over onto the next program. But yes, here we are. Another good day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. Many persons have not been this fortunate. This morning, over the weekend again, and this morning, I got some sad news about some people that I know who have passed. So we have to give praise and thanks whenever we wake up and we see the new day, because it is a privilege. It is a privilege to be able to wake up in the morning, see a new day, be on this program, participate, and get valuable information. The program was scheduled at 7 this morning, and as is customary, the people piled into the schoolyard. Piled in. As I said, I did not expect this large number, because it's today, Monday, the 16th, just over a week from Christmas. People are going to be very busy running around doing the things. So I appreciate the fact that you have found the time to be here this morning. And I want to invite you to share, as we would say, share, give us a thumbs up. Again, some people comment all the time, Umi and Carl and these people comment that you have so many people in the school, in the classroom, right now almost 500, and we have about 14 or 15 thumbs up on Facebook in particular. Give us the thumbs up. Give us show your appreciation. Are we gonna come? Are we gonna do the research? Are we gonna bring you the credible, valuable information? As I've said, we just over a week from Christmas, and by now I have to remind you that by this weekend, if you're doing it the traditional way, by this weekend, I guess by Sunday, you gotta set your garlic pork. That is force-right thing that has bring about now. You gotta set your garlic pork the proper old-fashioned way. We're talking about people preparing to bake your Christmas cake. We're talking about fixing your house, cleaning up and fixing your house. These are traditions that we should not ignore. I remember as a small boy, one of my main tasks was to sand and polish the wooden furniture. You had wooden furniture in the house, and not no lacquer, French polish. You have to come there and you sand it, and then you polish it, and so on. Yes, those were the good time. And who could forget, as small boys, you used to dress in your sister or your mother frock, not dress, frock. And you go out in the night masquerading. You get a milk tin, you're knocking the milk tin, and you're shaking, get some shack, you're shaking, you're dancing, and you're making your collection, you're going around, and you're collecting your small piece, because that is what you're going to use to buy your gun. You're going to get gifts, but you want to make sure that you are independent to the extent that you dance a little masquerade, get your little small piece, and you go and buy your gun and sack it. You buy a car Christmas Day, it's cowboy, you play cowboy and Indians. And you know, one of the famous guns in those days, you buy your guns and your cap, Apache. Apache was a famous cap guns. Make a lot of noise, make a louder explosion on the caps than the other guns. So those are days we had no electronic devices and all of those things, but we look forward to those days. Your ginger beer, your garlic pork, your sorrel, of course your pepper pot, your ham, and all of these things. Wonderful. You know, and I maintain after today, I used to tell people Boxing Day, you never used to invite people home by you on Boxing Day. First of all, Christmas Day, apart from you going out to play a little cowboy late in the day, you stay home. Nobody on visiting Christmas Day. But Boxing Day is the day that you go and you visit. You don't have to be invited. You stop in, you take a whatever, well, in the day, you get a piece of ginger beer or sorrel, you get some ginger beer, a piece of black cake, or a piece of fruit or sponge cake, and then you move on, you keep moving on like that. Those were the days. Those were the days. Those days have gone. Those days have gone. And what more you used to do? You play your cowboy, as I said, you get your milk tin, and if you want explosion, you remember you get carbon, you get your carbon, you put it in the milk tin, you bore a hole in the milk tin, you shake it up, you spit in it, and then you light the thing at the hole at the end, but out the cover blow off. That was fun in those days. That was fun in those days. So, you know, you got to reminisce sometimes. And you reminisce and you reflect on what used to be. You reflect on what used to be. Now let me do the roll call. You know, usual thing. I'm going to do the roll call. I'm going to make the announcements, and then we're going to go into the program. I don't know if I'm going to do it solo today, but whether it's solo or whether it's duo, wherever it is, you're going to get the program today. My colleague is having some difficulties, and we're gonna get the program. Now, the first person in this morning at 7 exactly, the man from in the hills, Linden, it was Barlett. Tessa came in the same time. Evelyn, Wayne from the UK came at the same time. And then we had Vibert at 7-1, Patricia, Ezzy, Brian, Anthony, and then Carlton, 7-2, Marcia, Rhonda, Aubrey, and Aubrey saying here, I'm going to announce the date in a short while, and you're going to know what Aubrey is talking about. George, my countryman, Gaston, my squad mate from Canada, Courtney, Magnell, Pamela from West Dem, Aubrey, Bert is here, the Canabrook man, Brendan, Puran from Essequibo Coast, Sean says he's in Lima, Peru. Enjoy, Sean, enjoy, Lima, Peru. Keith is here. Keith, I guess you're back in Brooklyn now. Wayne, Peter, Denise says she's in GT. You know, there is a tradition too, you know, where you're in the diaspora, you have to go home to Guyana to enjoy the warmth, the warm sunshine, and all the goodies. There's no other Christmas like a Guyanese Christmas. Trust me on that. No other Christmas like a Guyanese Christmas. Lyndon is here. Wayne, Marlon. Then it is after Marlon, we have Lynette from the UK is in the house. Marcus, Moses, Oral, Clarence, Michael. Every time I see Michael, I got to pause. Michael is all the way in Bambadai in Region 7. That is Bush, as we call it. Way down in the interior. Michael finds the time to be in the class. Then we have Barbara, Hannett, Dorette is here. Carl, my squad mate from Arizona. Pauline, Amanda, Carl, another Carl is here. Bonita, Forgus, Anka, Colin from New Jersey. Theodore is here with us. Charlene, Sandra, Earl, Desiree from Georgia. Orin from the UK. Joan from New Amsterdam. John, Marcus, Vivian, Brenda, Anthony, the man from Pieces All, is here. Nicola, Carlisle. And Carlisle says that he recently celebrated his 49th wedding anniversary. Congratulations to you and Mrs. Carlisle. Congratulations to you. Maureen, Jakey is here with us. Isabella, Glendis, Clifford, all the way from Paris. Ulrich from West Dem, Inferno Boss, Sandrine, Malcolm, Carville is here. Felicia, Umi, Vibert, Sweetie is here. Queenie, Hazel, Aileen, you all take licks last night. I'm going to talk about it in a short while. Sharon, Terence is here from Canada, 9795. Daniel from Linden, Delanio, Ronald, Gordon, Nigel, Leon, Old Police, Diane. You see, Diane is here, Diane, and then followed by another Diane immediately after. Patricia is here. She's from Republic Park. She's joining us. Clifford, Pastor Smith is here, 9339. Tilula, Janella, Abera, Francis Kidd from Melanie. Colin, Floyd, Rohan Jawar is here with us. Kay, George, Lennox, Siobhan, Mary. This is Linden. Michael Brower from the British Virgin Islands. Danny is here. Jacko from Georgia. John. Then we have Stefan. Heather is here. Raul. Henrik. Sagi is here with us. 9602 Jarvis is here. Claire. Winston. And Winston is from California. Grantley. Richard. Derek. Cecile. Lester. Then it is Marlon. Kerry. Emerson, Stefan, Boo, Doreen, my squad mate from Canada, Desiree, Emmanuel, Clive from the UK, Sharon is from the UK, Rayburn, Vernon, the original black man is here, Everett from Texas, Sheena, John, Kurt, David, Roy from Schenectady, upstate New York, Mandela, Andre, Raul is here with us as well, Kevin, Albert, then we have Juna is here, Cheryl, then it was Melville, Esla, Chilo, Akko, Rastaman, Denise, Joseph, Royston, Marlin, Gerald, and Derek. And Derek is in the house from St. Kitts, Nevis. El Ben is here, Farina, Paulette, this is Martelli, and I can't see this person before. Welcome. Then it is Michael, Cyril, Simoa, Kian, John, Elroy, Delon, June, V. John. And then the last person in the schoolyard was Aral. He came in. Then, as is usual, as is customary now, Edward came in first. Then Carlton. Then after Carlton, we have Stian. Lynette from Barbados is here. Abu from Essequibo Coast, E2 is here. Desiree, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I am going to make the announcements. I am happy to announce that my co-host, my colleague, my co-accused, my co-defendant, whatever you want to call it, he just joined the studio and he will be with you in a short while. But let me make some announcements first, and then I'm going to invite CCUs in the studio to join us. Now, sad announcement to make. The first one, let me update you. We announced the death of retired Detective Sergeant, I understand he was, Philip Walters, 11910 Walters, so over the TSU. He was a detective on the East Coast, Barbados, West Demerara. He died on December the 10th. I understand the funeral will be on the 21st at Virgin Nugent, East Bank, Essequibo. I haven't gotten the timings and the details as yet, but Walters' funeral will take place on the 21st. That is next Saturday, I think. Saturday coming, I think, yeah. At Virgin Nugent, East Bank, Essequibo. Then I have to announce, sadly, the death of former member Calvin Burnett, 1920. Calvin, when I joined the TSU, Calvin was there. He worked for years at the Armory. Outstanding cricketer in that dominating or that domineering police senior team, Case Cup team for the 3-day game. And then when you had Bristol or Rockmont, all of those matches, Burnett was a fixture in the team. And then he went on to represent Guyana. Belatedly, I would say. Belatedly, because in them days, police cricketers dominated the local scene, but they found it difficult to make the national team. Burnett was one of those persons. When eventually, I think in 1988-89, he got into the national team in what was then the Red Stripe. The Red Stripe was the interregional, I don't know what it is called now, but that was the senior first class among the territories. So Burnett got into the team, and in the first year, he got 3 half centuries, 3 centuries, the highest being 63, which remained his highest first class score. And I want to remind you, he also represented Guyana in what was then, I think it's what did you call it? They get his grant, no? They get his grant, intercounty. Intercounty used to be Jones Cup, and then it became, I think, get his grant. And it was recognized then as a first class game. The intercounty game, the intercounty final, I think, was recognized as a first class game. And Barnett Calvin represented Demerara on several occasions in that tournament, that final. And as I said, in those days, we had some real stalwarts. And I made a note of some of the names. Some of you here might remember them. You had people like, of course, you also had the Guystack Trophy. He played that too. Then we had some stalwarts. Let me remind you something. Milton Paidana, police cricketer. All these people I'm going to call now were police cricketers. He played at the same time with Barnett. He played with some of those people. Milton Paidana, William Jeffrey. Paidana went on to play for Guyana and the West Indies. Jeffrey went on to play for Guyana. You had Keith Cameron, outstanding fast bowler, played for Guyana. Leonard McCrae, outstanding left-hand bat, middle-order bat. He played a few games for Guyana as well. Then we had Neblett. Neblett played for Guyana, but I don't think he played when he was a police. He left police and he went to GCC. And then outstanding all-rounder, Neblett. Then who forgot Joseph Simpson? He's normally on this program. Outstanding opening batsman, played for police, Guyana as well. Then we had Eddie Nichols, opening batsman, umpire, big international umpire. He was an outstanding police cricketer. He had Eddie, Collie Solomon, police and Guyana. We had Kerry. Kerry was an outstanding all-rounder. He never played for Guyana, I don't think. Jeff Jones, who died not so long ago. We had William Lambert Blackman, Waity, the left-hand spinner, outstanding. Ovid Glasgow, Vibert Joachim, Gillian Gomes, Chatterpal Singh, and all of these people. That was an outstanding era of police cricket, but they never got a fair deal. So even though they dominated in the first division, local first division, they didn't get a fair deal. So Barnett passed away on Thursday, I think it was. He lived in Tennessee, USA. And I got word his brother Mark called me tonight to tell me that, to give me the sad news that Calvin passed. So, yes, he has passed on. And I know it's CC Squaddy, because Barnett 90-20. I think CC is 90-27. We have people on this program now who said that Pantless is also a member of that squad. And then I learned too of another squad mate of CC who died on the same day as Calvin, Apana, 9008, I think was Apana number. I remember Apana as an outstanding table tennis player. He was in New Amsterdam, B Division. And I recall on, I think, the Interforce table tennis finals, he and my squad mate, Henry Green, Tirna, but he was an outstanding table tennis player, and he too died recently. I want to take this opportunity. Well, when we talk about deaths, before I move on, only this morning too, we are reading that some Tishau was found dead in some hotel. Tishau is the leader of one of these Amerindian or indigenous communities, and they say that he died. He was found dead in the hotel room this morning. I want to express condolences to all the relatives of those persons who have passed, and say, may God grant you the strength to go through this difficult time. Let me bring in CC to give his opening remarks. CC, welcome.
Morning. Happy to be in the land of the living. Had some difficulties, but I'm here. And I remember Calvin Barnett very well. I think 100 and something of us joined the work together. Started from 1905, this Aaron, to 91, 19, Ross. And I was close to Calvin. And my number, as you rightly mentioned, 1927. I remember a couple of years ago, I was in the United States of America and shopping with my wife in Jamaica. I know the women always say checking price up and down and things. So I slip out of the store, only to come face to face with a panel who you announce and died the same day with Calvin Bonnet. And we had a good conversation, and he said, I know we Bonnet there, we're going to catch up. And he arranged, and we catch up, I think, 3 times during my stay in the United States of America. And that is the last time I saw those two guys. May their soul rest in peace.
Yeah. Well, the student tell me, they reminded me, when you call names, you're gonna always left out somebody, and they remind me of Light Harper. Sheep was an outstanding batsman. He played for Guyana too. Anthony Rigby later on. They said Barlyle. Well, Ovid wasn't Barlyle, Barlyle was Ovid brother. Barlyle was Keith Glasgow. Keith, he wasn't the police. He drove for Banksy IH. I remember. I remember seeing a Shell Shield game in those days, and Barlyle bowling from the northern end at border, and somebody drove a ball past he, and the bowler turned, Barlyle the bowler turned and chased the ball all the way to the boundary. Unheard of, but Barlyle did that. Yeah, so Barlyle Glasgow is a different Glasgow to Ovid. Ovid is a retired assistant commissioner, and Barlyle was his younger brother, right? And yes, some names are called here, but I call the names of people who dominated at the Force Division and who were on the national team, who made national team. People tell me Anthony Rigby, Jacko was in Barbies for a number of years. Yes, Sean, he lived in Paradise on the east coast of Demerara. Yeah, so again, condolences to the relatives of those deceased persons. Let me move on to some greetings. The first greeting I want to announce today is the birthday of retired, I think he was an assistant student, Joseph Jack, old traffic man. He's observing a natal day today. And belated birthday greetings are going out to retired Assistant Commissioner Michael Summersall, who was the former chairman of the Public Service Commission and a member of the Police Service Commission that I chaired and Mr. Conway was a member of. He celebrated recently. We also had Oswald King. We used to call the old TSU, call the tracksuit, 8791. He celebrated recently. My squad mate, George Semple, 9547. He had a birthday recently. I understand that Winston Benjamin, retired deputy superintendent, next man who dominated cricket in Barbies, he celebrated recently as well. So I want to take this opportunity to extend congratulations to all those who are celebrating today, who celebrated recently, and who will be celebrating shortly. So let me go on to tell. Well, we talk about the cricket. I know last night, I know it was heartbreaking for West Indian fan. How should put it? I looked at the game, and I said West Indies is one of the few teams that would have come back it from the position they were in. It is only for 7 or something like that, and still lose a game when they needed. You wanted at some stage 14, 15 runs are over, and Sheppy and the captain Powell brought it down to 7 in the last 7 runs for over in the last 3 with 3 wickets in hand. That was a layup for the batting team. But many times the West Indies cricketers, they don't bat with sense. So needing 7 runs for over in the last 3 overs, you brought it down from 14, 15, leading 7 runs for over. Sheppy, first ball, the main man, Taslim, came back, or what we need. First ball, that can get caught at mid-wicket. Why do you want to go for glory at that stage? 7 runs, you got to play sensible cricket. Sensible cricket, that was not sensible cricket. And of course, they lost by 7 runs. And then we had, what I'm following, the cricket that is India and Australia, rain-affected game. Well, India's on the ropes. I'm also following England and New Zealand. The one in the bag for New Zealand, because in England has to make 600 and something runs in 2 days. 2 wickets are already down, so that is in the bag. I've also been following South Africa and Sri Lanka, and you watch the cricket and you enjoy the cricket. Well, it was trending to see how the West Indies played last night. Trending. I know many of the fans here are going to people like Sean and Aileen and Jacko and all them can complain. They're gonna complain because yes, again, you got to chase 148. Given how that wicket plays, 148 was always a challenging score against a team like Bangladesh. Don't dispute that with the spinners and so on. But then you brought it back 80 something for 7, and all was lost. And then Powell played a masterful innings. Sheffy came in. And again, as some commentators say, can never understand how you said in Moti and the left arm by Akil Hussein before Sheffy. But be that as it may, when they came in, they were able to do a fantastic job and bring it back under West Indies control. And West Indies they lost the game from that position, which is not unusual these days. Don't bring him as a comment because I'm sure he watched it too. And he was heartbroken as well. See, what are your views, my brother?
I watch it. I wouldn't say I was heartbroken. I was disappointed. But then again, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. And some people would say, that West Indies are very consistent in their inconsistency. I think they should have won it quite easily coming down to the bottom there. But glorious uncertainties. I think they'll do better in the next 2 matches. Hope so.
Well, I'm too sure because I want to remind you all that the last time Bangladesh played in the West Indies in a T20, I think it was a T20, they played at Providence and they won 3-0. They won 3-0 because West Indies they have a problem with spin bowling. We can't deny that. I think later this year or early next year they're going to Pakistan, it's spinning the skin again. And let me say this: West Indies is the only organization don't put matches at venues that are going to favor the West Indies team. Because when you put them in St. Vincent, if you look what happened during the recently concluded T20 World Cup at St. Vincent, at the same venue, 120, 130 were good scores if you batted first. And the commentators were saying that too, because all the previous games is only one team chase and win. All the teams that batted second last, except for one game. And that is why they were saying, I don't know how West Indies would have won the toss and inserted Bangladesh, but there's water under the bridge. But as analysts, as fans, we talk about these things again. We talk about these things and we have to talk about it. That's what we like. So share the life. We're going to go into some sweet thing now. I'm going to the main stuff. I know we took some time because I was waiting for my colleague to come in. He had difficulties. Now that he's in. Now, one of the things, students, last Thursday, on the usual cuss-out thing that they call a press conference by the vice president, he made us. I didn't listen. Let me first admit, but based on the follow-up on what was carried on social media and so on, he made some remarks about former finance minister Winston Jordan. Brilliant man. You can't stop that. William, when it comes to economics and maths and so on, Winston Jordan is right up there with the best in the land. The best in the land is right up there. But Jack Deo, he like cuss out everybody, cuss out bench cap, he cuss out, everybody just cuss out. And I just say, when you come to Thursday, you just got to remember it was a big bacchanal just the other day with the Neda and she Makumi. And I tell you, I go listen to the song, you gotta understand what I'm saying. So he abused out Jordan. How Jordan was Jordan was no good and that sort of thing. Students, I'm inviting you now to go. Yesterday they had this program, the program Nation Watch, hosted by Marvin Williams, and Winston Jordan was the guest on that program. And Winston Jordan did a brilliant takedown of Jack Dale. It's gonna be there on YouTube or somewhere. I encourage you to go and watch. Facts, like what we come here with facts. The man dissect everything about the same pension Jack Dale gave himself, the 7/8 of the current president pension. He went into it in detail. He talked about this 50% increase to the government ministers during the coalition and explained in detail. Because it wasn't 50% across the board, he explained 50. The man explained the thing in detail. I was enthralled. I had to go out, and I said, no, I can't miss this. I don't want it on the replay or the rebound. But I'm encouraging you. The program is Nation Watch, hosted by Marvin Williams, with Mr. Winston Jordan as a guest. Fantastic, brilliant presentation. And I have said that one of the failings of the opposition is that things like these, they don't package it and make sure that it is disseminated for everybody to understand. Even spoke and explained this 18 million, what is called the signing bonus. The man explained in detail. And no matter how partisan you are, once you get good understanding, once you're not intellectually challenged, you come to a better understanding of all that took place. You came to a better understanding that not the propaganda that Jagdeo and them would normally spread. Not a Morty, just a show. If you go on YouTube and you Google it, or you Google, you're gonna find it. I don't have the link, but if I do have it, I'm gonna post it on my. I'm gonna look for it now if I have it and post it on Speaking Out. I'm gonna post it on Speaking Out. But it's all you students and others. You should encourage them to listen to it, to understand exactly what took place during all of these things, with the pay increase for the ministers that Jagdeo themselves get. They got the 50% too, and they had said at the time that they're gonna when they come back into, well, first of all, they said they're not gonna take the money, they're gonna put it to some in some fund. All of them take the money, including Jagdeo. This 50%, because he too got a 50% increase. As I tell you all, I can't represent the thing properly. Go and listen to Mr. Winston Jordan. Listen, somebody saying it, Egatari saying this on YouTube, so go and listen to it. Go and listen. They even have to go over time so that some of the issues could have been properly covered. Right? I may bring in Mr. CC to find out if he listened, if he saw. CC, did you see that brilliant takedown? Debunk all the lies, did you?
Oh, part of it, but I plan today during the course of the day to listen to it.
All right, all right. Now let me move on. Let me move on. Over, you said guys at the real places, one disaster after another. So last week you had this, along Aubrey Barker Street in South there, a whole set of posts in the after the evening. I think it might have been Thursday. Four concrete pole that were put up fell. Of course, the old place plunged the old place into blackout. The old place was plunged into blackout, and that lasted for a long time. And then the Prime Minister went there, and then the people asking the question, and then he bobbing and weaving, he dancing, but he too big for bob and weave properly. He too big for bob and weave properly. Man with a massive guts there, can't bob and weave properly. And the next morning, I think about 8 more posts fall down. About 8, and then it was revealed that these concrete posts were put in an area there with no proper foundation, no concrete foundation. Just plant them in the mud. And I guess they blame the road work that is going on with all the heavy duty. The poles came tumbling down. The poles came tumbling down. I think it was Thursday night and Friday morning. I hope those people have been able to get back their electricity and so on. But as I said, it's a disaster after disaster in this beautiful land called Guyana. See, all the poles, the fallen poles did not affect you.
No, it didn't affect me, but my granddaughter works in the same area there, so I'm aware what really took place there, because sometimes we drop her to work or pick her up back there, so I'm quite aware of what took place there. They had no real kind of foundation, so they would crumble.
Yeah. All right, so then let me move on to the next subject. Again, we say condolences again, because it is reported that 2 women died in a fire, West Demerara, Westminster, or someplace. 2 women perished in a fire at Westminster after a failed attempt to rescue a bedridden daughter. Apparently, the daughter is bedridden, and she attempted to rescue the daughter, and she too perished. 2 persons. Remember, not so long ago, we had a lady on the quarantine, I think, with her 4 children. Police said that the fire people said that fire was deliberately set, so it's a murder we have there. You had fire somewhere in a club somewhere. It's fire and fire and fire all the time. Fires and the land. Something wrong. Country man say, go and take bathe in blue water. There's ropes and bend. They look like the cross, right? All the areas is problem after problem. 2 women just perished like that in the fire, right? It's a sad story. Sad, but that type of thing continues. Then yesterday, before I begin, Mr. Conway, yesterday after I get a good laugh, I saw something flash on social media. Is a Guyanese cricket. I don't look at cricket because he's too abrasive, I should say. But yesterday afternoon, Critic had something on Facebook. Basically, what he was saying, he was driving along the Heroes Highway and he saw a carcass of a cow with some men and the police apparently cutting up this carcass. And when he drove up, the police jumped in the vehicle and sped off. The police jumped in the police vehicle and sped away. So it's not like they investigated, like they collected the Christmas pepper beef too. And then far up the road, critics found a cow. But what we say, a cow with one back leg and one front leg. It appears as though this thing was struck and killed. And Christmas being so near, the people decided to get some fresh meat. And it reminds me of an incident on the quarantine at number 19 Road, where about a year or two ago, I think it was a cow was struck down, and the person who struck the cow decided he can go. Oh, he saw the police, I think, and he told them, and they said, all right. They went and they went back. When they went back there, policeman, the butcher police, they were at work. That was carried in the news. The police, they were there, and they're cutting up the thing in the police vehicle. They got the cutlash and everything cutting up cow. So yesterday I had a good laugh when I saw this thing. I said the policemen are butchers. They had knife and all sort of thing there. Well, I know if the police had the knife, but a knife was at the scene. And they laugh about the thing. The men sped off. The police vehicle, critics say, sped off when he told them, they asked him, when he asked them something, they said they're going to Providence Police Station. He said he was going to go there to find out. I don't know what is the outcome of that matter. CC, police in the news all the time for the wrong reason. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, and I wonder what really happened at Providence Police Station. And they're reminiscing. I remember the same thing happened in Barbies, and was around Christmas time too. So perhaps they may want pepper pot, so the police want pepper pot. With all the money I hear they got, they still want free meat, So pepper pot.
Yeah, and then, next incident I saw in the newspaper, these things are shameful, I saw in the police paper where a policeman charged with stealing a car mirror. But when I looked at it, well, I'm not sure I got a follow because the man, look, he get lax. And his appearance, he doesn't appear as though he's a police, but they say policeman charged with stealing camera. This is what you have. This is what you have in this force that is supposed to be so transparent and so, according to what the extended squatter said last Thursday, I think it was at the presentation there, the awards presentation. We're gonna talk about it a short while. But let me go into the next matter here. Now, let me read this one. This is the one where they say a supervisor. Hold on, I want to read it. I have it here. A supervisor held a guard supervisor for a guard service held with an illegal firearm. They say guard service official held over gun. And it goes on to say a deputy chief security officer attached to professional guard service was arrested by the police around 3:45 a.m. today, that is the 14th, after he was searched and found to be in possession of a .32 Taurus pistol, along with 9 matching rounds of ammunition in the waist of his pants. A police mobile patrol led by an assistant superintendent stopped the car the man named Monroe was driving on Cumming Street, Georgetown. A statement from the police said that following a search and discovery of the firearm ammo, Monroe was asked if he had a license to carry the firearm, and he said no. He said the firearm is owned by the security service, and he was working with it. Owned by the security service that he was working with. He was escorted to the Alberton police station along with the firearm and ammunition, which were marked, sealed, and lodged to be taken to the ballistic section for analysis. He was placed in custody as the investigation continued. Now, a lot of things crossed my mind when I hear this. He is, they say, the deputy chief security officer. The fact that he had this firearm and they say that he wasn't licensed to carry this firearm suggests to me that even though he is the deputy chief immigration officer, chief security officer, he's not precepted and authorized to carry firearms owned by that company, or even if he is, he wasn't authorized to carry this firearm at that time. And that raises some worrying questions. What system they have in place? This is professional guard service, one of the older, more established guard service. what system they have in place there, which that will allow for this man to get this gun, even though he's not legally authorized to do so, and to carry it around. Was he on duty? Because even if he was on duty, they're saying that he wasn't authorized to carry this firearm. So it raises a lot of questions. And I would think that something like this would require an audit of the company, a proper audit of the company, not only to audit the number of firearms and ammunition they have, but what systems they have to issue firearm to people, including persons who are working with the guard. Because as we had explained before, even though you are a member of a guard service, I don't like to use the phrase security guard, even though you're a member, you have got to be a supernumerary consul, and you have to be precepted to be able to carry a firearm, and you have to be endorsed on the license issued to the security company. So I don't know what took place here, and I hope that now that this thing has been revealed, they will make sure they have a proper audit, because this is not an isolated case. Remember the incident on the East Coast where the man took a AR-40, this guard went to another guard, told him the security said that he must get this fire. He went and he killed his girlfriend, or the sister of his girlfriend. And we had several previous cases, and these things die a natural death. You had a case where some young security guard had a firearm at Border Market, this is about a year or so ago, playing with the firearm discharge, he injured somebody. And we understand at the time Jackie Opel visited police headquarters, so nothing came out of that matter. And you have several similar incidents where firearms that are owned by these security companies find themselves in the hands of people who should not have them. And this thing requires a proper audit. I remember when I was in charge of A Division, there was an incident where a firearm was stolen from a guard at Sapphire, a shotgun, Sapphire Exhibition Center. And during the course of the investigation, we discovered that the man from whom the firearm was stolen wasn't legally authorized to carry the firearm. And I immediately instructed the man at Alberton to seize all the firearms that that company had, all. And let's do an audit. Collect all. We collected all the firearms, lodged them. And then we discovered there were two other revolvers that could not have been accounted for. And I could tell you, once those firearms were seized, I get called from all over the place. Them people in Rap Street and all them people calling me. They say, hey, there's a process to be gone through. It is clear that these people are not accounting for these firearms. They're giving firearms to people who they should not, and I ain't giving back these guns. I am not giving them back until I'm satisfied they have a proper system in place. And I maintain that. They call, ministers call, people, as a Freedom House, people call me to beg for the man. I said, no, he's not getting back the gun. Not like that. We have to make sure a proper system is in place. We had the incident on the East Coast, the one that I referred to. We had the other one where the young man was shot and killed by the security. He had a shotgun. He said the shotgun went off accidentally. He shot and killed this man. Minister Bernard said that the firearm for one, the company would seize and all this type of thing. We ain't hearing nothing any longer. Apparently they went at the time and they seized the firearm belonging to the company because obviously they recognized that they hadn't proper system to make sure that these firearms were given to people who were authorized, legally authorized to use them. They're seized. I'm sure by now they must get back the guns. I am sure. So this thing is a worrying thing. This thing is very, very worrying where they're giving firearms, these security companies. And you know, the surprising thing, as I said, PGS is one of the more established security company. They are not a Johnny come lately. So one wonders what is happening with these firearms, because I know people get hundreds and hundreds of firearms. And not like long ago where they get a revolver or a pistol. Now they get semi-automatic rifles and all these type of things. Very, very worrying. Mr. Conway, I'm sure you want to say something about this worrying revelation.
Yeah, it is very worrying, and security service continue to breach the Private Security Act, And I can imagine a deputy head of a security service isn't authorized to use the weapons. Because as I know it, and I was the head of a security service that for a large scale gold mining, foreign gold mining company, and they would endorse the firearm license to be used by members of the security service who are supernumerary constables. That you gotta be precepted, you gotta be trained to use it. But the license it is endorsed for to be used by persons who are precepted, and I can imagine that from the face of it, appears as though the deputy is not a supernumerary constable. Can you imagine that the deputy is not a supernumerary constable, and it's the police who would approve those supernumerary constables? And if that is so, what action was taken against the security service? The Private Security Act gives the controlling authority that when for breaches you suspend them for a month and ask and seize the weapons too, all the weapons, and ask them to give reason why the suspension shouldn't be continue, or why the license should not be revoked. And the police had a team that was going around and checking on security service. But understand they get tainted. Understand Jackie Opel very much present with them. They go there and they find you in breach, say bye, come up, or we gonna report you, and this kind of thing. And it's high time, too many issues with security services. They are breaching the Private Security Act, breaching it, and nothing really is being done. Persons who get no training in firearm, they issuing them the shot of a man, they pick up a man, give a gun, and send him to get somewhere else there. And even you wonder what kind of training they had. At one time, the extended squad will say the training is going to be 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 weeks training. I think there's a couple of days, if so much. So it's high time that it start to stringently enforce the Private Security Act and take action against the owners. But then again, the other day, the extended squatter collected 8 point something $million as for pay for wedding from a member of a private security service. So he can't tell you nothing, and maybe they were collecting. So I give you my gift, I give you $8 million. So anything, I expect preferential treatment. Quid pro quo.
Yeah, well, we made that point before, because when a man gives you the type of money, the man buying something there, the man buying privilege, $8.5 million. We got to talk about that a little bit more a little later. But moving on to the next subject, with the same um, unlawful use of firearm. I saw, and this is on the 13th article in the newspaper, serial transportation service owner in custody over fine of gun at a vehicle. And here what the article says. Police are investigating the discharging of a loaded firearm with intent committed on Codell Asana, 41-year-old driver employed with ExxonMobil, which occurred about 16:30 hours at the corner of Drury Lane and Lamar Street, Georgetown, by Munishankar Prasad, a 54-year-old businessman and owner of Serial Transportation Service. In a statement today, the police said that investigations reveal that Asana and the businessman are known to each other. The businessman is also a licensed firearm holder of a Glock 9mm pistol. According to the businessman, two of his Toyota Prado SUVs were stolen from him earlier this year. The businessman said he was at his office at David Street, Kitty, when he received a telephone call on Wednesday afternoon from someone stating that they saw one of the stolen vehicles on Kitty Railway embankment. As a result, he proceeded to the said location, where he later saw a Prado SUV fitting the description of the one stolen from him. The vehicle was headed south on Lamar Street. The businessman said he exited his vehicle, and while walking towards the Prado, he discharged one round from his licensed firearm towards the vehicle, hitting the right back wheel, which caused the vehicle to stop. As he approached the driver, he recognized him too, and then realized the vehicle was not one that was stolen from him. The scene was processed by ranks from the Alberton police station. One 9mm spent shell was found at the scene. No one was injured. The firearm was lodged, and the businessman is presently in custody as investigations continue. Now, here you have a case where, according to this businessman, we're talking about lawlessness. We're talking about this cowboy country called Guyana. He claims that he lost two SUVs, two Toyota Prado SUVs. All right, sometime all this year. He is at this workplace when somebody told him they saw a vehicle that looks like one of the vehicles that was stolen from him. He then proceeded to this place. He saw this vehicle. And in order to stop the vehicle, the man took out the gun and shoot the wheel, Texas cowboy story, shot the wheel of this vehicle. When the vehicle stopped, then he recognized, he know the driver, and that is not one of the vehicles, of his vehicles that was stolen. A lot of Jim Cock bring Ramgoat story here. First of all, in the vehicle, he lost two vehicles. I'm not saying he did not. Did you make a report to the police? If you did make a report to the police, somebody called you and said, look, they saw a vehicle fitting this description. One would have thought that the next thing to do is to inform the police. Even if you decided to go to maybe see and to trace the vehicle to make sure the vehicle didn't disappear, you are going to call the police. But this man didn't do that. This man went there, he saw the vehicle. And again, I got to say, he lost two Toyota Prado. Two Toyota Prado. And a vehicle look like, they got dozens, if not hundreds of Toyota Prado. The most prominent colors in Guyana are white and black, all over the place. Government ministers drive them. I got a Toyota Prado that I drive. A lot of people drive Toyota. So how is it that this vehicle look like his vehicle? How is it that it look? Well, they recognize it from what the number plate. It has some identifiable, some distinguishing, some unique identifying mark. Oh, and the man go up there and the man shoot out the back wheel of this thing. That's what he claimed. And then they say that the scene was posted, they found a casing, and the businessman is presently in custody as investigations continue. What investigation continue? This is an open and shut, straightforward place. You charge him with this large loaded firearm, and then simultaneously he's given a letter by the divisional commander to show cause why the license in respect to this firearm should not be revoked, because this is a classic case where the license should be revoked. Yeah, the firearm is lodged, but the license has to be revoked as well. The license that was issued to him in respect to this firearm has to be revoked. You know, these incidents are frequent. And because I suspect proper action is not being taken, this is going on. Again, let me understand what happening here. This man endangered the lives of people. He fired a 9mm pistol. He fires, a 9mm pistol. Even if he fired it at the wheel, that thing could have ricocheted. And it injured, killed somebody. Reckless behavior. And you telling me that he's presently in custody, and I show by now the man gone out from bail and all this everything. I show by now. And all these days after, I show you ain't gone before the court yet. Because they're going to tell you that they're going to prepare a report and send to the DPP. Report for what? What DPP what? You don't need the DPP's advice to institute a charge in this matter. This is a straightforward case where I, as the police commander, will instruct the people to institute the charge. And if the DPP wants to review, she can review after the charge has been instituted. Not for you to wait for the DPP to advise for charge to be instituted. And without waiting, right away, you ask for the businessman. You write him officially. You explain all the circumstances and say, having regards to that, is to show cause why the license in respect to this firearm should not be revoked. And nobody Let me tell you this, because I'm telling these police officers, they listen, you know. They listen. They listen. The DPP has no jurisdiction over whether the firearm should be revoked or not. None whatsoever. None. None. The DPP can decide if you're charged to either continue or to withdraw the charge. That is our constitutional authority. But in respect to the firearm that is listed to him, DPP can't tell you don't or to return the firearm, as she attempted to do when I was commander A division. There was a man in Middle Road who had a propensity to discharging his firearm unjustifiably. And I think it was a Saturday, something he come and he shoot up. And I ordered the people at Rhineville to seize the firearm. They seized the firearm, and a report was put up because it has some complications in it. So I put up a report to the DPP. And then I initiated the process to revoke the firearm by asking him to show cause. When the file went to the DPP, file came back to say that he should not be charged, which is all good because that is their authority. But then she said the firearm should be returned to the gentleman. And I tell them, no way, no way. And the DPP did call me. She made the mistake to call me. And I told her where to get off. I told her where to get off. So you have no such authority. Don't tell me to return the firearm. I am saying the law permits me as a divisional commander to take such action. And if he wants, the law spells out what action he can take. He can appeal to the president, and he can do by petition. He can petition. You got to do that, but you can't tell me to give back the man the gun under these circumstances. Right? So again, officers who are listening now or who will listen later, you got to understand your rights. And it's not being arrogant. It's being able to follow the law. That is what the law says. This man should never be allowed to continue to have a firearm license, businessman or not, because he acted recklessly, endangering people. He shoot at the fire. Somebody killed the driver. Again, I say, suppose he had missed, injured somebody, killed somebody. Suppose the bullet had penetrated, ricocheted, gone, killed some innocent person. Are you telling me that man should continue to have a firearm? No way. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. See your views on this disturbing revelation.
More than disturbing, more than disturbing, danger, you ask the question, when you may fire. Was he attacked and was in danger, and was he attacked and was in danger to his person and unable to defend himself by any other means? And I understand this 4 rounds were, the information I got is 4 rounds were discharged from that weapon. You're gonna just shoot at that. And as you rightly said, Paul, that file doesn't have to go to the DPP. You as the commander, you make the decision. Is a clear-cut case. A clear-cut case. You don't have to file the DPP. You don't have to have the DPP fiat for that. You charge him and ask him in writing to set in writing why his firearm should not be revoked. And you proceed after then. And sometimes you could throw the whole book at him too. Perhaps he can get charged for damage to property, another offense that as a consequence of the shooting, But it's more than dangerous. Where you, because you feel that this vehicle looks like a vehicle that was stolen from you, and you go in and shoot to the wheel, madness, Paul, madness. So I hope that that he behaved before long, that is before the court. And as you rightly said, the DPP can't tell you to give back nobody no firearm. She doesn't have the authority.
Yeah, one of the students say, you remember me, Wayne said, you remember the incident. I tell you, don't come here and tell lies, I don't come here and tell lies. I tell another incident where they used to carry me to court for revoking the firearm license. But I had it with Don Pat. When I retired in 2010, I had given some of those documents to some of those officers. I passed it to them because this incident with revocation of firearm license, I learned the hard way. I was the commander in Berbice, And a gentleman had a .22 rifle and a pistol. Like share his experiences for the policemen to understand how this thing works. Now, he looked like he went and sleep out with the pistol. And them boys say, I wouldn't know because I never took part in this type of activity. But them boys say, when you're going to sleep out, when you don't do your business, get up and go home right away. The same must ask the bishop, because the bishop they dropped to sleep in Linden. So don't stay around. So he stayed around, and when he woke up, found the man tired, he wake up, his firearm gone. The pistol that he had with him disappeared. Right? So it was reported, investigated. The file sent to the DPP. DPP said we should revoke both of his firearm license. The one that he had that was stolen, and the .22 rifle, which at the time was lodged at Central Police Station. The DPP advised that we should revoke both licenses. And I proceeded to do that. At a little naive them days. You learn as you go along, and this is where you have to share experiences. The man challenged the revocation of the rifle, which was lodged at the police station. Came up before a certain judge at the New Amsterdam Magistrate Court, High Court, New Amsterdam High Court. And the judge ruled in favor of the man. And later on in discussion, the man told me, he said, you can't do that. Then the man explained to me, and I had the benefit too of the late, great Peter Britton, right? So once, especially when you, like in this case, the firearm is lodged, you ask him to show cause why the license should not be revoked. And then I asked Mr. Britton how long it should take. He said, young slow, the longer it takes for him to respond, the better. Because you have the firearm lodge, and don't rush. He said, one thing, he tell me, don't put no time. Because if you put a time, you tell him, show cause by the time. And then you go ahead and you revoke. He can argue that you had a premeditation. You had premeditated to revoke the firearm license. So he said, righty, ask him to show cause why the license should not be revoked. You get the firearm and wait. The longer it takes is better for you. The longer it takes is the better for you. And I asked some guidance from the judge. And I had put together a document which I had presented at a management meeting. And it was merely accepted that is the process you will follow. You're right, you show cause. You're right asking the person, because remember the firearm is lodged. The firearm is lodged. And next thing too that I got to tell you, and I had issues with this, somebody come and report that they lost the firearm. They lost the firearm. Now once the firearm is lost, it's automatic that the license with respect to that firearm should be revoked. You can't have a license for your firearm that is lost. It is revoked, and you have to go through the process to get a new firearm, because the license that you have is in respect to a particular firearm by serial number. Someone come, your firearm lost, all right, you revoke the license. He may then want to apply, and then the fact that it lost, the circumstances under which it was lost and so on, will be explained, and he might get a new firearm with a new license. So these are things, and I said it is sad that they don't have any proper course to the junior officers and especially the senior officers, because you have people who are pitchforked into command positions, and these basic things they do not know. And I said, don't blame them. The system doesn't allow for them to be taught these things. So what they do now, and as the DPP did admit, every single matter, almost, simplest of matters, you send it to the DPP for advice. So the DPP takes control of everything, even things that she should not have control over. She takes, because the police officers now, very few, if any, turn back file. By that I mean the detective officer, somebody send it to you, you go through it, he said there's no need for this to go any further. Institute this charge, institute that charge. The same thing used to happen if you send it through and it gets to CID headquarters back in the day. Skip Roberts, Warner Gentle, Henry Chester, and who there's there. But they go through the thing and say, no, this need not go to the DPP. Institute recommended charge, or they tell you what charge to institute, and they turn it back. It cut down on the time. But now everything, even was the disorderly behavior, the decent language, all them was sending for legal advice. That is how bad the thing has come. That is how bad. But I say again, The officers don't benefit from no type of proper training. People experience of former officers and even senior levels. You get into command level, assistant commissioner, all them type of thing. Basic policemen, they don't know basic policing. And I maintain that one of the serious problems now with the force is that you have senior people who are not policemen. They're wearing police uniform. They're calling themselves officers and all sort of things, but not policemen in the sense that they don't know the nitty-gritties of policing. They don't know that. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to move to the next subject. See, your views.
It's so true, boils down to training, that there's no proper training is being done. Junior officer course, senior officer course, nothing is being done, and they don't have the instructors, and they don't have the senior, the retired people with experience to go and share with them. They have fractured the relationship with the senior people. And let me tell you this: yesterday I went to a luncheon, ex-police, or the former members of the Guyana Police Force, retired persons, and they were deputy commissioner, retired deputy commissioners, assistant commissioners, senior super, right down the line there, And we had a good luncheon. And normally, what you have is that the commissioner will send a representative there to pass on greetings, and normally they would make a pledge that they're going to give X amount of money to that association. And this association, they did some good work in terms of refurbishing the building, good windows, good tiling, and all kind of thing there. We had a good time with the senior officers there. But there's it, not a representative from the Guyana Police Force was there. They have fractured the relationship with other members of the force. So nobody ain't going to lecture, nobody ain't going to hold discussions with the people, the sovereign people there. They're not inviting people to do that. So the whole system has gone, in terms of training, has gone crazy. And that's why you have people, they're just wearing the rank. But in true sense of it, they're not assistant commissioners, they're not senior superintendents, they're not superintendents in the true sense of it.
Yeah, they're not. They don't have the experience. They don't have the training. They don't have the inclination to be police. They just sit down there and they believe that is the end of it. They believe that is the, some of them are not even reading, because some of the basic things, mistakes that they're making, if they were reading the standing order, as antiquated as some sections are, if they were reading these things, they read the law, they will know how to operate, but they don't do that. Now, let me come back. Let me deal with this issue again. I think it was last week, there was the issue of the transfer of the deputy superintendent, the immigration officer there, Miss Harris, and a lot of things were said. Let me clarify certain things, because if you recall, the Brutus, it was reported that Brutus, after being investigated, he attempted to leave the country and he was stopped. That is what was reported. Then he moved to the High Court to get permission to accompany his wife to the US because she needed medical attention. He moved to the court. That's before he was charged. Let me understand the sequence of events. Before he was charged, he moved to the court. Now, while this application was pending, we know that he filed constitutional motion. That is not for this discussion now. But he moved to the court. The judge, Justice Gino Prasad, it is reported in Stabrook News, made certain comments, asked certain questions why he wasn't arrested and all this type of thing, and said in court that he was of mind not to allow the Brutus nor his wife to leave. That is what was said. Now, subsequent to that, the Brutus and his wife and his driver were charged. I think they charged on the 24th, at least they appeared in court on the 24th of October this year, right? They were all granted bail. Brutus' wife, the bail was conditional. Brutus' wife, I think, was $500,000 on two charges she may add. And then Brutus had a whole set of charges, $6-point-something million. But the wife had to lodge her passport, which she did with the court. Last week we learned around the 4th, last week before the last, whatever it is, we learned that the lawyer representing Brutus' wife went back to the magistrate, who then ordered that, or who then modified the condition of the bail. So she no longer needed to at-large, she no longer had to lodge her passport, so the passport was returned to her. And on the same day, she and her 2-year-old son left Guyana. Now, once they left Guyana, a whole set of confusion. Because first of all, they're saying that Kanu ransack or whatever they do, the suitcase of she and his son. There was a lot of things in the media, social media, and so on. She left. Now, in came then we learned that she was transferred. I think it was a Thursday or the Friday. She was instructed, we learned, that she was instructed to report to headquarters on Monday, this last Monday, because she's transferred. The thing led a firestorm on social media. Because we said, well, this woman had nothing wrong. The court ordered her to leave and ordered the defendant to leave, or the accused, because he's entitled to charge, to leave. And the immigration officer was just complying with the order of the court. Right? But then it came out with a statement as was expected, and I had anticipated that. They said, given the blowback of this action to transfer, they're going to come Monday morning and tell you all. Which they did. They came and said, oh, she was never transferred. And they talk about transparency and integrity and all of that. Then Tuesday last, the Attorney General, Anil Nandlal, SC, MP, on his program Issues in the News, made us other statement, and he said that how the magistrate doesn't have the authority, and he blah, 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 blah. Unsurprisingly, he didn't quote any law. He didn't tell us which law he was relying on, or the case laws or he was relying on to make this assertion. Well, I like my research. And I went back because I told you all that in 2021, and I was charged along with Conway and others, 19th of May 2021. I appeared in court on the 15th of October 2021. I was put on bail. No conditions were attached. That's large money, and I there on bail. So I was free to leave. The magistrate did not impose any restriction to me traveling. But out of an abundance of caution, I discussed with my lawyer, and I said, look, let's go to the High Court to get formal permission, because I suspect that if I attempt to leave, they're going to stop me. We don't want to go do that, because it had never happened before. The Clarence Chu case and all those other cases are different in that they went to the airport and were prevented from leaving, and they brought constitutional motion against the government. In my case, nobody prevented me from leaving, but I was being proactive. I said, let me go to court. And Nandlal, the same Nandlal, appeared and objected to my leaving. On the first occasion, the Chief Justice granted permission, conditional. I had to leave a second time. I went back. Justice Navendra Singh granted permission with conditions. On the third time, I had to leave. All these leaving were work-related. I had to leave. I went back to the court. Justice Navendra Singh again granted me permission to leave. No condition was attached. On the third occasion, the state did not object. But coming out of the matter the first time in December of 2021, when I went to the thing, in October, the judge ruled, Chief Justice ruled, here what, and Mr. Hughes, who represented me, wrote something recently that I have to say. He said, in response to Nandlal, he said, this is a complete misrepresentation of the law. That is what Nandlal, he said what Nandlal was saying is a complete misrepresentation of the law. In the application by Paul Slow to leave the jurisdiction, in which proceedings the Attorney General opposed the application, and I appeared for Mr. Slow, the court confirmed that an application to leave the jurisdiction can be made to the magistrate. Let me read it back. That is what Mr. Hughes is saying, that in the ruling in my case versus them for permission to leave, he's saying, right, in the case of Paul Slow, in the application by Paul Slow to leave the jurisdiction in which proceedings the Attorney General opposed the application, and I appeared for Mr. Slow. The court confirmed that an application to leave the jurisdiction can be made to the magistrate. That is the magistrate who would have heard the case. He goes on to say, this procedure has been followed on several occasions since the ruling in Paul Slow, and applicants have been granted permission to leave the jurisdiction, including cases in which I have appeared. In the case of Police versus David Patterson, such an application was made to the magistrate, was considered and granted. This is nothing short of a poorly disguised attempt to intimidate a sitting magistrate. It should be rejected at all costs. So Mr. Hughes is saying that the statements made last week, Tuesday, by Anil Landlal, saying that the magistrate ain't got no authority to do this, and he says it's nothing short of a poorly disguised attempt to intimidate a sitting magistrate, because the magistrate has such a authority. And in the David Patterson case that he referenced, let me show you all. Oh, you might be able to read. This is a case jacket in the David Patterson's case. And let me read it for you. I have it here. This is what the magistrate wrote this here. And here's what the magistrate wrote. You might not be able to read it out, but let me read it. He was put on bail on $10,000. And then the magistrate wrote here that defendant is permitted to leave the jurisdiction to attend personal and professional engagements. However, he is required to attend all future appearances. Let me read that back. This is the magistrate in the David Patterson's case. The magistrate wrote, see, I like research, I like bring the facts to you. The magistrate wrote that he is put on $10,000 bail, and she says the defendant is permitted to leave the jurisdiction to attend personal and professional engagements. However, he is required to attend all future, I think it's future, or all other appearances. So how can the Attorney General come and tell you the magistrate can't do that and the magistrate can't do that? You see, that's where you got to come, do your research, and debunk these nonsense what they tell you. And that is why, again, at the start of the program, I encourage you all to see the matter yesterday, the interview yesterday with Mr. Winston Jordan. Look at it. And a lot of these lies that they come and tell are debunked. So the fact that the magistrate, as I said, the lawyer would have gone back in this Adoni Calder case, and he made a request, I think, and I suspect, for the conditions of bail to be altered. And then, therefore, the magistrate agreed and said, "I'll take back your passport." And once your passport is given, I don't know that the magistrate would have written and said, might have been, but I don't know, to say, well, you can leave. But the fact that the passport was returned, that is the indication that the person can leave the jurisdiction. And as Mr. Hughes indicated, and as I showed you just now, it is not something that has not happened before. And the Chief Justice said that a magistrate can consider allowing a person to leave the jurisdiction. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, then we're going to move to our next subject. See, you don't have to bring up this thing to debunk this thing. Well, you always make all sort of fancy argument, enough big words and all sort of things. But we got to do the research. We're going to come and we're going to present the facts to our students. What are your views?
I listened to his rantings on issues in the news. And all he did, he made some hasty generalization. I would expect, if the supreme legal advisor to the government would come on board, he got to be specific. All he's saying is that the magistrate ain't get no authority. Where is the authority? Quote from the Constitution, quote from case laws, quote from the laws of Guyana, showing that the magistrate has no authority. And he talk about the judge that prevented because his wife from leaving. Quote what the judge said. I expect him to read the order from the judge. As I understand it, Brutus had approached the court for permission to accompany his wife to the United States of America. Not even seeking permission for his wife to go, or not for him for seeking permission to accompany his wife, and all the landlord doing is just making hasty generalization. As attorney general, you gotta be specific. You gotta quote the Constitution. You gotta quote case laws. You gotta quote what the laws are gonna saying. Just as how Paul, you could quote what Mr. Houston, you could bring forward the case jacket from the magistrate. That is what we expect from Attorney General. None of the nonsense that he get on with, and they're making hasty generalization. The magistrate ain't get no authority, no judge ain't get no authority, and then them kind of thing there. He got to do far better than that. And all is bluff, 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 and still more bluff.
Bluff, bluff, and still more bluff. But you know, we can come and we can bring the facts and we can debunk the bluff. That's the word I like using, debunk. So we borrowing the word from them. We can debunk all this crap what they're talking about. We can do that. Share the live, folks. Share the live. Y'all gotta share this live. Let me put up this this thing. Share the live. Share the live. I got a lot of students here now. I didn't expect today Monday, couple just over a week from Christmas. But yeah, as you come, share the live. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Share the live. Give us a thumbs up. Even now, we ain't get enough thumbs up. 1,500 plus people on the live and what? 80 something thumbs up. Y'all not doing good. Y'all not doing well. Now let me go to the next thing. Police Corporate Communication Unit, or the propaganda unit, as I just call them. Right? There's an accident and the report. This is on the 15th. This is yesterday. Police vehicle collision, drivers to be charged. That's the headline. I think Starbrook News. Police vehicle in collision, drivers to be charged. Then it said, police yesterday said in a statement that investigations are ongoing into a collision that occurred about 3:45 a.m. yesterday on the Good Hope Railway Embankment Road, East Coast, Demerara, involving Guyana Police Force motor pickup PAC 5250, driven by Lance Corporal Thompson, a 20-year-old, driven by Jamal Thompson, 28-year-old Lance Corporal, and a motor vehicle PBV 6015, owned and driven at the time by Renialdo Oselmo, 29 years of Belfield, East Coast, Demerara. And here what they say, inquiries disclosed that the police pickup was proceeding east along the northern drive lane on Good Hope Railway Embankment Road with its flashing lights on, while motor car PVV 6015 was proceeding out of Good Hope Access Road. When it reached the T-junction, the car made a right turn onto Good Hope Railway Embankment Road and into the path of the police vehicle. As a result, the right front portion of the police vehicle collided with the back of the car and both vehicles were damaged. A notice of intended prosecution was served on both drivers, who are in custody, assisted with the investigation. So they said the police driver was in custody. I don't believe that. But hey, let me tell you something. Let me pull up this thingy. Because I get a video which purports to be a short video of this accident. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me play it again, because it came up suddenly. Remember they're saying, let me read what they say, what they say. Enquiries disclosed that the pickup was proceeding east along the northern drive lane on Good Hope Railway Embankment Road with its flashing lights on, while motor car PVV 6015 was proceeding out of Good Hope Access Road. When it reached the T-junction, the car made a right turn into Good Hope Railway onto Good Hope Railway Embankment Road and in the path of the vehicle. As a result, the right front portion of the police vehicle collided with the back of the car. Look again, folks. Look again. It then look to me like this vehicle come out no way and make no turn into the path. Again, let me show you. And look this picture now. Look this still picture. This is the police vehicle. You see the damage here is to the left front of the vehicle, and the damage on the car, the same car where they said they get a number, the same number, PVV 6015, is to the right rear. So this part of the police vehicle collided based, and that is consistent with what we just saw. The car was going there, the police vehicle come at the back, and the police vehicle lashed this thing on the left front of the police vehicle. They claim that the right front, they say, as a result, the right front portion of the police vehicle collided. That's what the corporate communication unit is telling us. But look the picture, we saw the video. It would appear that this vehicle was going east, as they say, and the police vehicle, for whatever reason, even if it had on its flashing light doesn't give you the authority to just breeze through. You got to observe, you got to drive cautiously. And it looked like the vehicle, it would appear based on the video that we saw, that this police vehicle, again, let me play them so you could understand. One more. And again, we talk about credibility because the statement that they released is not consistent with the video that we saw and the damage to the vehicles. The statement that they gave about this vehicle coming across and all of that. So again, we talk about credibility. They give these statements, and they when you look at the evidence, you question what they're saying. You question the release given by the police. And like they don't understand with all of these CCTV cameras and all of these things now, you can't come out with this mendacious statement. People are going to debunk it, and your credibility, whatever little credibility you have, is shot. It gone through the window. It gone through the window. Right? Gone through the window. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his comment on this. You see?
Yeah, the evidence is clear. Facts on the ground, very clear. The left side, and you made a point, Paul, that not because you get flashing lights that you're free to go, you proceed if it's safe. But I believe because you get on your flashing light that you could do whatever you want to do. The evidence is clear. Left side, and they're talking about right side, and the evidence is right down there. And they say they try for thinking that that the police are on the flashing light. Flashing light doesn't mean anything. It means that you proceed if it's safe to proceed, and that's it.
That is asking the question here. I put it up. What is the legal requirements for the police flashing light or siren? Now, we have been explaining this over and over. The problem is that there's no training for these ranks to tell them when to use the flashing light, when to use the siren. These are emergency warning appliances. And as it says, emergency warning appliances. Now, at this time, they said that this accident occurred early in the morning, right? Where is it? They said the accident occurred at 3:45 in the morning. One body driving. What emergency that this vehicle would have been on? What emergency? You drive around or you go around, you walk around Georgetown, police vehicles, flashing lights, siren, and there's no emergency. And I have made the argument repeatedly that all you're doing is desensitizing the public to the use of siren and flashing light. Because by now, everybody come to know that, look, the flashing light can mean nothing. It's not no emergency. The man just going on the run, you want to give way. And more so now that you have private vehicles with siren and flashing light. Private vehicles with sirens and flashing lights. And that compounds the problem. A man, I haven't seen him on the program for a while, but sure he looks after the live. He told me that he driving ExxonMobil official along one of the routes. I can't remember where. But the official turned to him and said, look, ask him, why are the police pulling you over? He said, pull over, what do you mean? He said, look, the police behind you with flashing lights. You need to pull over. Then he said, no, that's the normal thing. Right? But this executive know that in the US and them place, when you see a police pull up behind you with flashing light and put on the siren, they want you to pull over. Or they are, you got to clear the way for them to pass. But in the police clears, they just flashing light. And you know the most aggravating thing for me? You know the most aggravating thing for me, students, is to see police vehicles with flashing light. And when they meet to the stoplight, they stop and they're waiting the green light. And they have the flashing light on, you know. Flashing lights are on. And when they meet the intersection and they get a red light, they stop. They're making a mockery of this thing, and this thing calls so proper training. Proper training, and I'm sure anyone on this, you drive around, you might have observed flashing light on these vehicles, and then they come and they stop at the red light. They're making a mockery of this thing. No proper training, no proper standing order as to when the emergency lights and things should be used. The president, not about 2 weeks ago, spoke about the same thing. Imagine that the president got to talk about vehicles, unauthorized vehicles using siren, and he's not the first person to say so. Minister Ben talk about it. This extended squad, they're all talking about it, but they seem powerless to take action because who are the people using flashing light and siren illegally? Not the ordinary taxi man, not the ordinary Joe Flunks or Joe Blow or whoever you want to call it. Not the ordinary man. It's some businessman, perhaps the same businessman who are stakeholders and who give large contributions to the police. So it's lawlessness. That's how the man could go and take up the gun and shoot the Baquila of the Prado. Siren is the next lawlessness. It's an indication of the lawlessness that is pervading the country. Lawlessness. And people who get enough dollars and little sense. And this is SEN, not CENTS. Enough dollars, a little topside. That is what you're happening. So that is what you have. So for the student who asks, what are the rules? The rules are there. First of all, in terms of what vehicles can have flashing light, the law is clear: emergency vehicles. Emergency vehicles are police vehicles, ambulances, fire vehicles. That is the category. Robson Ben said sometime early this year or last year that he can go to Parliament for tweak the legislation for allow for important officials or government officials, something like that, and diplomats to have siren. I know if he tweaked it as yet, it seemed to have tweaked because it's everybody, despite what they're saying, people with siren and flashing light. That guy is not a real place. Now, let me move on to this other subject. I don't want, what time we get? We get about half an hour to deal with this one, CC. And I'm talking here about the last Thursday, I think it was. Yeah, Thursday. The acting commissioner of police, Clifton Akin, the person referred to as the extended squad, and just in case you don't know why he's referred to as that, he has passed his retirement age, and like Asha Kisoon, and I wanted to talk about Asha Kisoon, but I don't have time to deal with it today. Asha Kisoon is the member of parliament who was found to be occupying the seat illegally. We can talk about that because it comes, while we don't deal with politics, it comes under incompetence and corruption. So we can talk about that another time. So she's squatting in parliament, he can squatting in the office of the commissioner. So they had the awards presentation on Thursday, and incidentally, this is something started by Larry Lewis. Larry Lewis was way before its time. A lot of the things that are going on now in the force, that has gone on over the years, started with when Larry Lewis became commissioner. Award ceremony, Christmas breakfast, best cop, all of those things, impact, all of those things are innovation of Larry Lewis. Divisional flags. And you know, I wanted to talk about that too, because even now that the divisions have changed, you know, no longer A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and those type of things. The division now are aligned to the regions. The flag them is the same thing. The divisional flags are still there. They're flying the flags them daily, and I don't know when they're going to change it and so on. I don't even know if they have changed the divisional boundaries. It's lawlessness going on. Lawlessness. They might not have even changed and gazetted the divisional boundaries that now that they have changed. But that is not the point. So you have this award ceremony, and the acting commissioner made some statements, and the statements are carried by Gordon Mosey, News Source, on December the 12th, 2024. And let me read on the thing. He said, Acting Police Commissioner Clifton Akin has noted that while the Ghana Police Force has experienced its fair share of challenges this year, it has also recorded a long list of success stories ranging from better traffic management. Let me read about a long list of success stories ranging from better traffic management, overall better policing, and new crime fighting strategies. Mr. Akin made the comments while speaking at the Ghana Police Force end of year awards ceremony. And then the quote here saying, this is as a result of a strategic data-driven policing initiative, such as increased community policing and patrolling in crime hotspots, crime mapping. I'm sure somebody make a mistake. Crime mapping, M-O-P-P-I-N-G, is crime mapping or crime mapping, map, M-A-P-P-I-N-G. I know, I am bright. I ain't been to the university across the river, but I believe it's crime mapping. But this here says crime mapping and predictive policing. And he's been quoted here, so he said crime mapping, Gordon quoting me, and predictive policing, which has enabled a more effective resource allocation. Evidence-based police strategies also led to better investigation outcome, and social crime prevention program allow us to target root causes of crime, Mr. Akin noted. Further, the Top Cop noted that 2024 saw improvements in road safety, noting that although there were frequent accidents, there has been an overall decrease. However, he stated that the vision of the police force this year was based on a 2022-2026 strategic plan, which speaks about improved use of technology in crime fighting, professionalizing the police force, and increasing the training of ranks. Quote, our organization is currently undergoing a transformative reform process as part of our commitment to retool and improve law enforcement practices as outlined in the 2022-2026 strategic plan. This forward-looking blueprint is more than just a roadmap, MAP, for the future. It is a bold promise to modernize and diversify and professionalize the Guyana Police Force while ensuring transparency and accountability and community-centered policing. End of quote, the acting top cop stated. Outlining some of the successes of the Guyana Police Force for the year, Mr. Akin said a number of ranks benefited from scholarships and training initiatives. He said other achievements, including the establishment of a computer center throughout the country to train youths ahead of the police force's Safe Community program, the implementation of a border management system to detect smuggling and other illegal activities at various ports of entries, and the strengthening of its marine capabilities. In the midst of those achievements, he reported that there were also challenges. While the success, quote, while the success of the Ghana Police Force is commendable, they have not been without challenges such as budget constraints, evolving nature of crime, recruitment and retention, social and economic factors, among others. End of quote, the top cop stated. Looking ahead, in 2025, Mr. Akin said that the force is looking to establish specialized unit which would include aviation, oil and gas, tourism, and youth advisory council. Further, he said an accident investigation unit is expected to be established at every police station, and a new policing training academy will be established at Dora on the Linden-Sussex Highway. Then the last paragraph is, the Ghana Police Force has faced serious concerns about corruption within the force, especially among senior officers. An assistant commissioner of police is currently before the court facing more than 200 fraud charges, fraud and money laundering charges. That is what the acting commissioner said. The man said, I like to quote these things. I like the man talk about the crime management. He talk about the ranging, they have a better um, traffic management at this stage. That is one of the achievements. Better traffic management. Let me bring in Mr. Conway while I take a breath and come again. See, I am sure you would have seen this statement, man, that what the acting commissioner made last Thursday at the award ceremony. Let me hear your views, man.
Well, it'll take a whole episode or several episodes to really analyze the nonsense that that commissioner spoke about. He talked about better traffic management, and at the same breath, he talking about the guy established accident investigation unit, and not to forget the early morning seagull management that they had with the president, specifically to deal with traffic. And the big problem with traffic is that they are cocking the figures. Traffic has got to be, we said over and over again, has got to be data. You gotta be data driven. And that's what they're not doing, because if you're cocking the figures and your data is flawed, that means the action you're gonna take your is gonna be flawed also. They want to show that they have less fatal accidents. So what they're doing, if a vehicle runs into a lamppost and the person die, it is an incident. If a man hit a bridge and go overboard and they get dead, it is an incident. If somebody hit down a donkey in the road and then they die, attacking the person died, it is an incident. The other day I heard they talking in West Moraro, they're talking about a mishap. So all these things are you find a guy stand up next to a minibus, another minibus pass and hit him down, you hear is an incident. That's what they're doing, cocking the figures, and they're not looking at the jaguar in the room, the corruption. They're not looking at how people get in their driver's license, the theory that they take Zaro, Alex Zaro, they are paragons of virtue. They're doing the theory, and no checks and balances, no integrity testing, no anti-corruption operation being done. Whatever Zara say, there is it. And the practicals, what going on at the practicals? I remember Ron Singh wrote an article. Ron Singh was in charge of the audit and inspection unit, and after he retired, he wrote an article. He said 1,157 persons got the driver's license illegally. He said they are potential killers. Perhaps they're now real killers. That if you don't have an holistic approach towards this traffic situation, things gonna go haywire. And that's what they're not looking at. And the nonsense what we talking about strategic management. That is such strategic management that they have. What they do, and I'm gonna talk on another episode more time going more about it. They cut and paste. In 2011, in 2011, they had Captain Simmons as part of the Citizen Security Program presented what they call a strategic plan, and it fell on 5 planks: operational priorities, people development, performance, in infrastructure, and partnership. So they cut and paste, and they got those 5. They put on those 5 planks, and they add in accountability. But what they didn't do, they didn't look at the risk analysis identified by Captain Simmons. And let me read some of it. They said there will be a lack of suitable equipment for officers of the GPF to meet new and emerging challenges, increase marine air capability, improve vehicles. He said the Ministry of Home Affairs doesn't have a strategic plan which give overall direction to the GPF strategic plan. Managers of the Ghana Police Force will not be equipped to deal with the new and emerging challenges arising from modernization. New and emerging crimes will divert resources to tackle other activities not set out in the plan. There will be, hear this one, there will be insufficient succession planning to ensure that skilled resources are in place to deliver this plan. And we know they don't have any succession plan. Let me read a couple more. The escalation of serious crime or public order activities that prevent the involvement of GPF staff in delivering the objectives and targets set out in the strategic plan. Skills and ability of staff of the GPF will be insufficient to implement or will delay delivery of the strategic plan. Here is one. Alleged and perceived corruption within the GPF will adversely affect public trust and confidence. We hear about CB 252 and all those kind of things there. And there's this one, an increase in the economy of Guyana may increase the demands of the GPF, which cannot be managed with existing resources. All the talking on again is that they have a strategic plan. They get no plan that is working. And I guess strategic plan is only two people to talk about the strategic plan: the commissioner, the extended squatter, and CB 252. Nobody else. Ask the deputy commanders if they know about the strike plan. They're not to fail. Even the commanders are not to fail. The divisional, the subordinate officers, the station sergeants, the other subordinate officers, that if you have a strategic plan, it must come right down to the bottom, down to the recruits. What's nobody? They're talking about partnerships, and the stakeholders are not aware of this plan. This plan is top secret, very much so top secret, and it can't work. If they don't work in one on, they're gonna talk about strategic plan and the strategic plan. Ask them for the past 2 years if they achieve any milestone. None whatsoever. Let them tell you the milestone that they achieve. So they're only talking about strategic plan, but they ain't get such plan. And for me, strategic plan has got to be smart. SMART, specific. There's M as S. M, measurable. A, achievable. R, realistic. And T, task oriented. But they get something. They all they do is talking. We have a strategic plan. It don't work in. It is not realistic. It is not achievable. And then get people when they started in with Captain Simmons. I remember mentor. He was getting his foot in, and then see Lal Prasad just scrap the old strategic plan. I know they said they get one, they cut and paste, but it's not working, and they don't have people there to drive it. Nobody there to drive it, and they're not looking at the risk analysis that identified by Captain Simmons. So nonsense he's talking about, and them other things he's talking about. Maybe at another episode, we should really come down and analyze what that extended squatter mentioned.
Yeah, you picked me. You're thinking of, like, because I said there's so much to go through that next we got to do it on another. We got to continue another episode. But I need to update you. We spoke about this security officer who who formed with his firearm, and he what let me read it back. Guard service official held over gun. Where this man Ashwan, I think his name, Monroe, Deputy Chief Security Officer attached to the Professional Guard Service. I'm getting a feedback that he appeared before court this morning. He was charged, I guess, with unlawful possession of firearm. He charged this morning, and I'm going to follow up there. What is the result? But I'm saying again, charging this man is good. You got to charge him because he broke the law. But that is not enough. That is not enough. You also have to make sure that you audit the company to find out how is it that they allow this man to get a firearm? What system they have in place there? You got to do that as well. And you know, one of the things the extended squatter said on this thing is that in terms of looking forward to next year, they're talking about having what? The folks are looking to establish specialized unit which should include aviation. Can you imagine that? The police talking about aviation unit. In other words, they're gonna get helicopter and airplane. To do what? To do what? You get the vehicles, we show you this say. Vehicle broken up. This is a police vehicle damaged. That can be out of commission for some time. Last night, I see something circulating. Let me see if I can find it. Last night. And let me warn you, this thing has some expletives at the end. So if you have children listening, card the ears or move them away. It's a short clip, but down to the end, you get some expletives. I don't want the children to be hearing that. Listen to...
You got to spin that and then the man playing half the same thing here, right? That's all right. That's cool. Yeah, for sure. I don't agree with that. Right here, the man shoot off right here. The man forget his bridge. Right on, let it shoot. Hey, the check gets up right. Check up them again, right?
Hey man, you're only fucking watching about. Only fucking.
There's a vehicle, let's say a secure vehicle overboard. It gone for swim. There's a secure vehicle gone for swim. Comrade, and again, care and custody there's a standing order dealing with care and custody of vehicles, you know. Care and custody, and one of the problems we have with this and all this everything, nobody is surcharged. Come when you find that you should go through a process, the law allows for that. And once they're found to be in the wrong, then they're surcharged. They got to pay for these damage causing and government property, but nothing happens. Nothing happens, right? And then we talk about the one man went to court. Let me play a short clip.
The owner of Cyril's transportation service, Mashankar Prasad, was arrested by the police last week after he reportedly opened fire on a vehicle, believing that the vehicle might have been one that was apparently stolen from his company. Although the incident took place almost 2 weeks ago, the police only provided information on the incident today, after being questioned by reporters. The police said on the afternoon of the 2nd of December, at the corner of Drury Lane and Lamaha Streets, the businessman whipped out his licensed firearm and fired a shot to the back of the vehicle, hitting one of the wheels and forcing the driver to stop. The police said the businessman has claimed that 2 of his Toyota Prado vehicles were stolen earlier in the year and have never been recovered. He said that on the day in question, he received information that a vehicle fitting the description of one that was allegedly stolen from him was spotted in the Lamaha Street area. Prasad admitted to the investigators that he tracked down the vehicle and discharged a shot at it when he noticed it along Lamaha Street. He said when he approached the vehicle, he recognized the driver and then realized that the vehicle was not one that was stolen from him. The vehicle reportedly belonged to the ExxonMobil company and is used for transporting one of the company's top executives. It is unclear whether the company official was in the vehicle at the time. News source understands that since the incident, the ExxonMobil company has banned the businessman from accessing any of their properties, and his contract with the company may now be in jeopardy. The police report stated that a spent shell was discovered at the scene, and the businessman was forced to lodge his firearm with the police as he is assisting with the investigations that are ongoing.
Yeah, the story that this thing happened since the 2nd of December, you know. It's not until and this is an organization, the Guyana Police Force, through its media arm, the Corporate Communication Unit, they talk about transparency. And this incident occurred since early in December, and nothing, they were quiet about it. And not until, as what Gordon Mosey is saying there, questions were asked by the media, and then they reveal, yes, this thing happened. Maybe Jackie Opel went to the show. And what has happened? Again, we say, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And this brings us to the other issue. The man who shot and killed the person who they claimed to be a vagrant some time ago, shoot the man, kill the man, said the man was stealing some beverages. That is what they said. They claimed to that a spent casing from the gun he fired was found on his veranda, suggesting that he may have shot from the veranda. So he wasn't facing any threat. It is alleged, let me tell you, it's alleged that shortly thereafter the file was sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions and a certain course of action was recommended. And shortly, with breakneck speed, the file was recalled. And up to now, we can't hear anything more about that matter, up to now. Breakneck speed, they turn back the file. You know, file sent, whatever kind of straightforward investigation. In a matter like this, you know, you think once PM concluded they get cause of death, you're ready to institute charge. It doesn't require much. But file sent to the DPP, we understand a certain course of action was recommended by the DPP's chambers. And then the file was sent back by the DPP. And they're waiting for the directions on this matter. That's what you have. This man with this shoot out the Prado vehicle, ExxonMobil vehicle, since early this month, according to what Mosley is saying, since around the 2nd of December, this thing occurred, it's only last week there, this story break. Only last week. So you see what's going on. We see. And this statement by the acting commissioner at the award ceremony, we are going to it a little bit more, perhaps on the next program. Time catch up with that. We have other things to mention as well. We have other issues to deal with in respect to the same award ceremony. But time would not permit me to deal with it. Today, I want to change you. So I'm going to bring in Mr. Conway for his closing, and then I'm going to give you the heads up. CC, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, sure. We need to dissect the awards ceremony. But then again, Christmas is coming, and I want to make a plea again for those Amerindian police who are doing Christmas policing in New Amsterdam. They're training at the college at Adventure on the quarantine, and they have to buy their own boots. $7,000 they pay for their boots. A corporal of station headquarters was a supplier where they had to pay $7,000 for their boots. The boots that where government's supposed to provide them with boots. $7,000. They have to pay a whole set of them there. All I know is because they're from Region 9 that they believe that they're stupid and they got to buy their own boots, but they have to pay it, and I'm hoping that the police will refund them their money and they will take action against the corporal who is fronting for a senior officer. They have already warning. Thing does happen is get already warning. They must have early intervention to stop the corruption. What is going on here? Here is it, recruits and more so Amerindians got to pay for their boots. They got to buy their boots, and they're paying $7,000 to a police corporal station at Ivlery. But more about the award ceremony, as we say, on another episode.
More on another episode. And a student has reminded me that they ain't get a therapy. Well, here we go.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours. Su. Ahmad, if you listen to this, man, on a Thursday, the man always fluent. A matter of fact, he telling a lot of lies, but he's fluent in the lies. But when the question is asked about Su, first time he heard a word. First time he heard about Su. And these are the people. This is the man who sits there every Thursday. You know who incompetent, you know who corrupt, you know all sort of thing. And I maintain, I will continue to say, until and unless they have a credible investigation into this allegation, which is saying that the vice president takes 500,000 US from Chinese businessmen for them to get contract and so on. You gotta get a credible, a damning allegation. And Barajagil should push for such a credible investigation to clear his name. Because until a credible investigation is done, I continue to say that stench will be with him all his walks, all the days of his life. All the days of his life, that's corruption, allegation, stench will remain of him. Folks, we have had a long morning. Christmas is next week. Christmas is next week, right? And you know, Christmas is the time of giving. So I'm inviting you again. Let me thank all those who have made contributions. Quite a few persons have made contributions to the upkeep of this program. I continue to invite you to do so, and the number is there at the bottom, Zelle and Cash App. I'm still working. People from the UK and other places have been trying to find out how they can contribute. We're working on other apps, another arrangement, which hopefully very soon we are going to inform you of. So there we go for today. The next program is scheduled for the day after tomorrow, Wednesday. Again, I say to you, subscribe, like the page on Facebook, and we are going to do the research we're going to bring. We have other things to tell you today, but we can't do so because of the time. So continue to stay tuned. And again, thanking you for your attendance. We had a lot of people in this school today, man. Not a large numbers. Again, as I said, the next scheduled program is a Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be the 18th, the Wednesday before Christmas. Christmas is going to be next Wednesday. And share and be safe. You know, this is a time people putting up fairy lights, people doing a lot of cooking. People, be safe, folks. Be safe. Do everything to make sure that you are safe, because your safety, it should be your priority. On the roads, in your home, everywhere, you need to be very, very safe. So until we meet again, God spare life next Wednesday, I invite you, as I've said, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye.